ignorance out there. It's why we do the work we do at Stand With Us. We have to educate people like the film has done tonight. Hopefully people learn something new and will take it back with them. Education is a road to peace. We have to promote that because without it, the ignorant people who have no information are very susceptible. They're very vulnerable to lies and misinformation. And so we have students that are running this whole anti-Semitic push, and then we have all the other students who are following along because they don't have information. So we need to continue to promote good, solid facts out there.
You know, it's interesting because I was on a call actually with quite a number of Congress people. I took actually the Black Caucus to introduce them in Israel to the new industry some time ago. And I was on a call and AOC said something that shocked me. She actually said that it's time for the Palestinians to have their country back. And she meant Israel. And I said to her, why do you think that that's so? And she said, well, it says so everywhere in history books. So I said to her, how many times do you think Jerusalem is mentioned in the Quran? And she said, many times. I said, not once. How many times Jerusalem is mentioned in the Old Testament and the New Testament? It's almost every second page. But it shocked me, the level of ignorance within our own leaders. And I'm not talking about politics. I'm just talking about the need for education.
Right, and I want to just end with one very, very important thing, and that is this is a moment in time when we hear our students asking for help. We hear them, and shame on the universities for not following their own rules on their campuses. Shame on them. And we need to push them to do so, but we need to also stand by the sides of our students. This is a moment when we need to help them feel their pride and help them express themselves and let them know that they're not alone.
Thank you for that. You know, which brings me to you, Zinab. You know, you have really created quite a following of Muslim young communities. And you've been speaking against anti-Semitism and really speaking about October 7th and writing about it. And I read your Wall Street Journal piece. And I was very touched. And I wanted to know, you're Muslim, what did it all mean to you? And why have you decided to take such a stand against anti-Semitism?
Thank you, Daphne. To answer this question, I'll kind of start with why I started Mala. Our works predated October 7th. And I will say that since 9/11, Muslim American voices such as myself have been bullied into silence. And I call this coerced cohesion. If we dare to speak out against extremism, against anti-Semitism, against violence in our own communities, if we dare to do that, we are called traitors, bigots, Islamophobes. The word Zionist is spit at us as if it's some sort of slur. Either that or our voices become tokenized. The left and the Islamists have had a monopoly on Muslim American representation since 9/11. And the core problem remains because the majority of mainstream Muslim American organizations are Islamists. And I started Mala because Muslim Americans deserve better. Now, post-October 7th, the masks came off, and I think we can all agree that universally the line of empathy and humanity changed. What I found to be so deeply disturbing was that simply sharing empathy or reaching out to support our Jewish American brothers and sisters, somehow that translated into supporting and signaling a signal of support for bombing Gaza. How many of us have heard this? I'm why the denial happens. I penned the op-ed in the Wall Street Journal because we have a lot of work to do in the community. I wrote about anti-Semitism in the Muslim American community because October 7th drew a line in the sand. And I will say that the problem is going to continue as long as we have organizations like CARE having a seat and being present at the White House Summit on anti-Semitism. We are going to continue having this problem. And as long as we have elected officials like Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar be the main faces of Muslim American civic engagement, we are not getting anywhere. And this is why we started this. This is why, because Mala is so important. We need Muslim American voices. We need a place, we need a home for voices like myself, like Ahmed's. This is the reason why you can be proud of your Muslim American heritage. You can reject grievances. You can set an example to break anti-Semitism that's been passed on from generation to generation. Because all it does is it disempowers and marginalizes us, and it justifies the hate that exists in our community.
It's amazing. Thank you so much.
Can I just briefly say that thanks to Zainab reaching out to me soon after October 7th, she got me an op-ed, helped me get an op-ed in the Wall Street Journal, helped me get in front of multiple organizations, get to the Oslo Freedom Forum. So I'm incredibly, this is the idea of creating a new political home for people that are outside the binaries, and I'm really grateful for Mala, and I'm grateful for Zainab, and the like-minded Arabs and Muslims who are rejecting the binary thing.
No, I absolutely agree with you, and I'm so proud of you. You know, when I read your piece, I was in tears. Because in my heart, I've had many, many events, and all of them are culturally diverse. Because in my heart, I believe that our global community is going to destroy itself unless we all come together. So thank you so much for everything that you've been doing. You know, I wanted to talk about the plight of women at this point, because one of the things that shocked me most of all is the way women organizations were silent. We watched these things. Yes. I went with Hillary Clinton to the UN when the UN women would not make a sound or make any statement after October 7th. It took 8 weeks before they even made a statement. And they made a statement because of Hillary Clinton. Because she put her foot down and absolutely insisted that if they didn't, she was going to give interviews and hold a press conference about the fact that the UN Women organization is silent about the atrocities on October 7th. And I hope everybody here appreciates the way that she's moved forward and became such an important voice. But the next question is to you, Heidi. First of all, why is it that UN women were silent for so long? And in fact, the first statement was really minimal and really didn't go into the proof that these things really happened until 6 months from the day it occurred. Please tell me what your thoughts are.
I would love to tell you what my thoughts are on all of this. First, Daphna, I want to thank you so much for making this evening possible. The film dropped on YouTube on April 25th, and we spoke shortly thereafter about it. Then the footage of the 5 young women hostages were released, and it was devastating. And Anila, Soraya, and Daphna and I got on a call and said this has to happen sooner rather than later. So it was a wild ride, and here we are tonight. So I'm really grateful to you for such just an honorable evening, and that so many people turned out, and we hit it, that it is an important issue that we needed to elevate.